What's good, y'all? It's NK, and here we are. We're talking about Sonic once again. Of course, I just can't get enough of him right now. I just can't. We gotta talk about Sonic Racing Crossworlds once again, man. We gotta get into it. And we gotta talk about how, even before this game is released, it's already established itself, in my opinion, to be a better overall experience than the previous car racing game in the series, Team Sonic Racing, man. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the business, the points. My first point, which is very important for a Sonic game especially, and a racing game in addition to that, of course, superior sense of speed. I believe Sonic Racing Crossworlds has a superior sense of speed when it is compared to Team Sonic Racing. I'm pretty sure you can see that from the gameplay I have in the background. And this is made even more apparent with the dynamic camera that they added to the game with the second beta, the open beta that recently happened. It just makes everything feel so much faster. It gives a good flow state feel, which is kind of reminiscent of the original Sonic Riders and also the first two All Stars racing games. They all had that sense of speed down packed, and that's unfortunately probably the biggest thing that Team Sonic Racing failed at, in my opinion, which is a double negative with it being one, a racing game, and two, a Sonic game in general. You need to have that sense of speed, man. And when you don't have that sense of speed, it's just like, what even is it? It's not Sonic, in my opinion, at least. Although, to not be too harsh on Team Sonic Racing, I feel like the sense of speed could come down to two different aspects. One, it could be the camera that I mentioned when I just praised Sonic Racing Crossworlds, but it could also be the track scale. Because if you notice, these tracks are a lot larger. The tracks in Team Sonic Racing are a lot larger than the tracks in Sonic Racing Crossworlds. So I feel like these tracks are made for real scale cars, while the Sonic Racing Crossroads stuff is scaled down for karts and extreme gears and stuff along that line. So that could also affect it as well, because if you want a smaller track, and the models are the same size and the vehicles are a lot larger compared to the track, you could feel like you're going a lot faster. But everything's so scaled up in Team Sonic Racing, it feels a lot slower. That could also be a contributing factor as well. And furthermore, in Team Sonic Racing, I feel as if some of the tracks are just too long, which could also have to do with the speed thing. But I personally, from what I noticed in TSR, a lot of the track lengths can be to 4 minutes for a race, or even 5 minutes, which I think is kind of insane for this genre. I think that Sonic Racing Crossworlds does it better, in my opinion, a better track length for this genre of game, keeping it around, I say, give or take about 2 to 3 minutes for each race. And there's also a lot more going on in game as far as Crossworlds versus TSR. TSR is a lot of, you're just driving, and you do turns for a few seconds and then drive. I mean, Crossworlds, it's straight turns, and you're dodging everybody. Almost everybody has items. It's a lot of inputs because you also want to be boosting. It's a lot of, especially if you're using extreme gears, you always want to be boosting because that's their main thing with that vehicle type. So it's a lot of, you have a lot more inputs per second to do to keep you occupied. There's a lot of dead space in TSR gameplay, which I don't feel like it's good for. Like I said, I keep saying, like this genre of game, I don't feel like that's good for it. But this is something that wants to be fast paced. You want to keep you active, keep you engaged. It's easier to disengage and disassociate as if you're driving in real life on TSR, at least from my viewpoint, But it's not as if TSR doesn't do something good though. With the zones that they introduced to the game, to racing, like Glacierland, Sand Obelisk, and Rooftop Run, those are very nice. I think, especially for to bring them into the kart racing worlds, those are very nice. They all look very aesthetically pleasing. I feel like they can definitely do something with those. They should keep some of those around, in my opinion. They look very nice. It's just basically do a little bit of work on the track design, in my opinion. But they did, as we see in the second beta, they did keep Sand Road, and Sand Road is very, very fun to play in that game. So I would probably like to see like 1 or 2 more tracks from this game, maybe a Glacierland track. I'm not too sure if they'll do that though, because I know they have cool edge in the game, although it is a crossword, but we'll see. Sky Road is there though, we know that as well. Now the aspects I feel the games are very close in is customization and music. First is going to customization though, because with TSR, from what I remember, if I recall correctly, every car has 3 unique parts. Well, it's technically 6 because it's 3 unique parts, and then there's a golden variant for each part of the car, so you can make golden versions with each part if you want to. I think that's pretty neat, and it's there's a lot of customization, especially for something they haven't done that often with the racing games. Although I initially thought that Crossworlds would be the same number, but when they added Joker's car into the open beta, we saw the speed types. They originally was about 3 or 4 speed vehicles you could swap out. Like you would start out with the part that's on the car default, it was 1, and there are about 3 to cycle through. But then when they added Joker's car, there was a 4th one. So interestingly enough, you probably will have Team Sonic Racing Crossworlds will probably end up having more customization, because it seems as if every vehicle from a certain type will have interchangeable parts. So speed type, all speed type vehicles will be able to change parts, all power type vehicles will be able to change parts, all acceleration vehicles, handling vehicles, and boost vehicles being extreme gear. So it seems as if Sonic Racing Crossworlds might beat Team Sonic Racing out with that. But it is something that's very underrated with Team Sonic Racing, because people were already saying that immediately Sonic Racing Crossworlds had more customization, which wasn't actually the case. That wasn't the case until we saw the open beta. Closed beta, it was the same 3 parts for each vehicle. Well, actually TSR beat it if you want to count the gold parts as separate variants. But even then, because we used to talk about customization, I think it depends on how you frame it, because TSR, each vehicle had bespoke parts that are made specifically for that certain vehicle, and there's 6 of them. You can mix and mingle parts for each vehicle of the type in Crossworlds, so they all share the same parts in a sense. So it depends on how you frame it. So in some ways TSR could still win out, and in some ways you could say Crossworlds does better. It's a conversation to be had though. It's not as clear cut as you would make it seem. Now I feel music is very subjective, and there are some people when it comes to the Crossworlds soundtrack, some people do not like what they hear. Although maybe that could just be the DJ mix versions that we saw when they posted on their social medias, the Sonic channels. They posted. A lot of people had certain opinions about those, but I feel like in game, most people were at least indifferent to what they heard. But TSR, I went back and listened to some of the music in that game. They have some pretty nice stuff in that game, man. Like their iteration of Sand Road is amazing. I think it depends on what you prefer though, the style of music you prefer. I feel like TSR's music is more traditionally Sonic. I'll be honest, I feel like Crossworlds kind of has like a Mario Kart vibe, especially when they go for the orchestral theme with the last lap versions. I feel that feels very Mario Kart to me. Not that Sonic doesn't do orchestral, it's just the way that they do it here with the faster pace and all of that. Sonic definitely does orchestral, and they do it very well in my opinion. But yeah. But when it's not orchestral, such as with the final lap versions, it feels as if it has a vibe where you can visualize if Sand Road had a cyberspace version of the track, cyberspace tracks from the cyberspace OST from Sonic Frontiers. It feels like that version of a track of a song, if that makes sense. Kind of EDM, like more of an EDM vibe. Yeah, I think at the end of the day it comes out of personal preference though. But yeah, I think I've touched on pretty much every point I wanted to make with these games as a point of comparison. Overall, I think Sonic Racing Crossworlds, it has a chance, man. It has a chance. It could be the one for a lot of people. It could end up being some people's favorite Sonic racing game. Yeah, we can even say that just off the fact that they had the gears in it, because a lot of people put a lot of stock in that. People are so desperate for riders, which I understand for sure, because I would like riders as well. A lot of people, just with that, people would have put it as their favorite game in the series, racing game, I'm pretty sure. just because they have the best quote unquote of both worlds. I wouldn't say it's the best at the gears, but hey, that's a video for a whole other time. I might have to make a mild gear video one of these days. But yeah, man. Overall, I'm very happy with the game so far. I can't wait to get my hands on the full thing, man. I've been a part of both betas. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed my time. I enjoyed my time a lot more the second one because they kind of fixed the items and stuff, made it a lot less chaotic than it was before. You can kind of work your way through the chaos now. I think that's a step in the right direction. I do think a few items still need work. I mean to say, such as the weights. But hey, man, one step at a time. One step at a time. The game's definitely gonna get some post-game support. So hey, we just hope for the best with that. And also hope that we get the riders costumes. But yeah, and everybody said on the stream gear. But yeah, man. I think I've rambled on long enough though. Hope y'all get the point I was trying to make. This is NK signing out, man. Hope y'all enjoyed watching. Enjoy listening.